Hey, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to Life Mastery Decoded, where I help you decode the struggles in your life in the areas of health, wealth, relationships, and spirituality with mind mastery, emotional management, and meditation. Welcome to today's podcast. Hey, ladies, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's episode where I hope I am finding you living a limitless life. Ooh, one of my favorite words, limitless. Limitless. Say it. Say it with me. Limitless. I don't want to have my life have limits. Do you remember what it was like when you're like in grade school or a teenager and you had limits put on you by your parents? You can't stay out all night. You can't spend all your money. You can't have all your friends spend the night. You can't sign up for 55 different classes, and you can't take, right? You have all these limits. But then when we become adults, isn't it really interesting that somehow we continue to put those limits on ourselves? We can't eat that much. We can't spend that much. We can't live that dream. We can't afford this house. We can't afford this car. We can't afford these kids. I had no idea that kids were so expensive. I had no idea. You guys have to eat again? Didn't I feed you yesterday? No idea. No idea. All right. Limitless. Limitless. Yes. Where I can think about anything I want and I can create it. We are goddesses of creation. We have the ability to use a couple different faculties of our mind and the way we think to create a life of heaven or hell. So today it would be women, ladies, I hope I'm finding you living a life of heaven, because if you're not living a life of heaven, then it is my intention that in today's episode, I give you one nugget to help you with that, to help you create your heaven on earth. I don't know for 1,000% if we have other lives. I know what I believe, but I don't know. And if I do come back, I'm not going to remember this life that I'm in right now. If I do come back and live another physical experience, I'm not going to remember this one of this podcast as Jen Mack, as Lady of the Mind. I could come back as a guy who is already rich, who lives in Hollywood Hills, or I could come back as King Tut's slave who cleans his bathroom back in whenever King Tut was. I know that was a terrible example, but we don't know. I don't know for 100%. I have my own beliefs about it. But I don't know. I don't know if I've ever lived another life. Okay. And that's not what this podcast is about anyways. So as we start talking about the new year and the new resolutions that are coming in, and we talked about intentions and our words yesterday or in the last podcast. And then I have this new program that's called New Year, New You, where we're going to be talking about the words you use and how you structure the words you use to create your life. Today, we're going to talk about what happens after that. So I say, okay, Jen, you know what? I believe that I'm a goddess and I believe that I have the ability to create. I've heard enough about the law of attraction and energy work and I believe that I can do that. Okay, so I'm going to create a palace in the sky. I want $1 billion a year. I want to not work for it, and I want to be thin and fit and sexy. Immediately when you say that, you have a belief of either you believe that can happen or you don't. Now, there's a little bit of gray area in between there where you just might get stuck a little bit, where it's like, I believe I could have that, but I do have some reservations about it actually happening or happening in this lifetime or happening soon or happening today or, happening whenever it could happen, right? So what I want to talk about is the beliefs. I think it's important that you first understand the power of your beliefs. In the last episode, I talked about your words, and we were just using words to describe an emotion, which then immediately, if you were tuned in and you did this exercise, you could feel the emotional response in your body, like immediately, because words carry vibration. Words carry a vibrational frequency that is tangible, that can be felt in the body. And when we come up with our intentions and we use specific words to describe what we want to experience, those vibrational frequencies create that physical thing. And it does. It's out there. All of the dreams that you've ever had are out there in the world, waiting for you to call them forward. The biggest problem we all have is we are limited in our thinking about the thing. Therefore, we never call it forward. A long time ago, when I started learning about the law of attraction and meditation and visualization and working with energy, I remember this teacher telling me, say this affirmation as many times as you can throughout the day. Say it over and over and over again. Go to bed with it on your mind, wake up with it on your mind and on your lips, and say it all the time and write it down and whatever. Every time I would say the affirmation, I could feel the resistance. And she would say, just say it more. Just say it more. Because it wasn't overnight that you got to experience this belief or that you adopted this belief. You have adopted this belief, which created your physical world. So now, if you said this belief 45,000 times, you now need to say this belief without saying the old belief. You now need to say the new belief 45,001 times, and your world will start shifting. So say this affirmation more. And I'm like, that's bullshit. I don't want to do that. I don't have time for this. But I tried it, and all I felt was the resistance of the opposite. It's equivalent to standing in front of the mirror and being overweight, feeling terrible about your body, feeling fat, feeling sore, feeling heavy, feeling disappointed in yourself, but standing in the mirror, looking at yourself and saying, I'm thin and fit. Over and over again. I'm telling you right now, don't do that. Don't waste your time saying that affirmation that your body feels is a lie. It doesn't matter if you say it 45,001 times, the lie is still a lie. And if your mind and your subconscious mind, because when you're doing an affirmation, your conscious mind is saying the affirmation, your subconscious mind has to adopt it, has to agree with it. And if your subconscious mind does not agree with it, it ain't gonna happen. You could say it for 87 years and it isn't gonna happen. It's just not. It's not. Not until your subconscious mind believes it. If you've not read the book, The Ant and the Elephant, I love metaphors. That is like everything in me to not literally speak in metaphors. It is a fantastic book to explain your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. It looks like a little tiny kid's chapter book, and it is called The Ant and the Elephant. And it is a fable, a story about the ant who's riding on the back of an elephant. The ant is your conscious mind, small, but aware and awake, right? The subconscious mind is the elephant. That's how powerful. If the ant is walking north, but the elephant is walking south, it doesn't matter how long, how many times the ant walks north, he's really walking south, isn't he? If the ant is on the back of the elephant and the elephant is walking south, if your subconscious mind believes that you are fat and your conscious mind says you're not, it doesn't matter. That's the equivalent to the ant walking north, but the elephant walking south. You are indeed going south. So what do we do then? What do we do when we set the intention, we set the New Year's resolution, we look at our lives and say, okay, Jen called me a goddess. I want to try this. I want to be a goddess. I want to change my life. And I'm going to change my life in this particular way. And I'm going to say, I want to lose weight. And I want to get to the point that says, I'm thin and fit when I look in the mirror and it be true. So when you say something of your goal, your dream, the thing that you are declaring that is going to be the new you, you have to be able to say it where it's believable. Now, we've talked about words before where you say, I'm willing to allow health and love or weight loss or whatever, money into my life. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the belief at the subconscious level. So when you want to say the thing, we're going to structure the sentence in a way that allows it to be believable for the subconscious mind. So this is where the ant would whisper to the elephant that says, hey, I want you to turn around and head north. If the ant cannot get the subconscious mind to buy into this new idea, it doesn't matter how many times you say it, the elephant is not going. You are not going to change the elephant's mind, okay? If the elephant doesn't buy into the idea. So when we structure our intentions, which is going to be day 1 of the New Year, New You program beginning January 25th, and if you haven't signed up for it yet, sign up for it, because I'm not taking a bunch of people, I'm taking a few people so we can customize it. So if you want to get in and lock your spot down. Go to Lady Rising on Facebook and then post in the group, hey Jen, give me the link, or look in the featured section, the link will be there, and you can sign up for the class. Begins January 25th. Okay, so when you say something like, I'm thin and fit, you can immediately feel your body go, no, you're not. Now that's your subconscious mind going, no, you're not. And then it doesn't matter how many times you say it, you're not going to be, okay? So what do? As you construct the intention, we're going to look at the things about the goal that are going to allow you to bring it in. But when you say the intention and you feel excited, that is a huge indicator that your subconscious mind is buying into the idea. That equivalent of your emotional state is the connection and the agreement of the elephant. Okay, the conscious mind is just thought. It's just ideas. When it connects to the elephant, it becomes this emotional response in the body. The emotion is the higher frequency or the higher vibration that goes out into the universe to attract the thing. This is what we're going to call energy flow, or flowing energy to your desire. Adding energy to it. It's just like putting gas in the car. I don't put gas in the car, I'm not going anywhere. Or I can put gas in the tank once and I can drive this many miles, and then after that, if I don't put gas in the car, it stops. So if I say, okay, I'm going to drive from here to Miami and I'm just going to fill up the tank once, I'm probably only going to get to maybe Oklahoma. And then that's it. I didn't bring my dream to fruition. And then I say, this stuff doesn't work. Well, no, you now have to flow more energy until the dream takes shape. That's no different than, I'm going to lose weight, but I'm only going to go to the gym one time. Well, you have to go to the gym more than once. But it doesn't mean you have to begrudgingly go to the gym. So here's what we do. You create your intention, and I don't care what it is, you write it down, whatever. What I did is I took my intention and said, my overall intention is I want to lose 20 pounds. Then what I did is I created these other intentions that point to I want to lose 20 pounds. Because I can say, I intend to lose 20 pounds, and my body responds, and it's pretty in agreement, but it's kind of meh. It's kind of like this idea out here, right? So it doesn't really create this fabulous response, this emotional response in my body, which tells me my subconscious mind did not adopt it, did not latch onto it, buy into the idea. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reconstruct different intentions that support this intention. So I say, okay, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. Okay, so what beliefs do I have currently about losing 20 pounds? Well, I need to work out more. I need to eat better. And I need to stop eating foods that contribute to my weight gain. Okay, so there's 3 different areas right there that I can create and construct different intentions that support this idea or this dream. So what I did is I created an intention that says, I intend to cut out or stop. I intend to, release. It was release. It's one of my favorite words right now. I intend to release the cravings that contribute to my weight gain. And I ask my guides for help in releasing the cravings of unknown foods or foods that I'm unaware of that are contributing to my weight gain. Ooh, that's kind of exciting. Like, I'm releasing those cravings. And I'm not kidding you guys. In less than 24 hours, I had 0 cravings for sugar. And it has been that way for, I don't know, it's like 10 days or something now. I have 0 cravings for sugar. Now, before, I would tell you that I not only love sugar, but I was pretty darn close to being addicted to it. Every time I would eat or sit down to like make a lunch or make dinner, that immediately I would go, what am I going to eat? And then what am I going to have afterwards? What's going to be, I'm going to eat a cookie, I'm going to eat a brownie, I'm going to eat some chocolate. What am I going to have afterwards? And then when I would then go eat the cookie, I would feel guilty. So what's happening right now is I just make lunch. I just walk into the house and I make lunch. I don't even think about eating any sweets afterwards. And not only do I not think about eating any sweets afterwards, but if I do eat a cookie, I no longer feel guilty. In the last episode, I talked about emotions, and I talked about the importance of the words you're using. If I am feeling guilty as I'm eating something, how nourishing do you think that is to my body? How do you think that energy affects the energy stability or the energy result in my body? Terribly. If I'm eating guilt, that's a low vibration. I don't want low vibration food in my body. And I'm the one who's embedding that energy into that cookie. Do you know, and I hope you do this, but before you eat anything, do you give gratitude for that food? When you and your family sit down to dinner, do you give thanks for the food that's in front of you? Do you know why that is such an important habit to get into? Because gratitude is the highest vibration. And as you are sitting down and you're about to have a meal, to say, I thank thee, Source, for providing this nourishing, beautiful, lovely, healthy food in front of me, and that this food nourishes my body to the best of my abilities to help me reach my goal. Thank you so much for this food. You are embedding gratitude into the food. Now you're eating a high energy vibrational food instead of I'm eating guilt, or I'm eating depression, or I'm eating anxiety, or I'm eating sadness. That doesn't make you feel any better. I mean, we're talking about energy, and we're talking about the power of energy. So first you have to be the ant. You have to be thinking of doing things differently. Then once you know that you are connected to the elephant, now life becomes a miracle every day. So what am I actually talking about? When you state your intention, when you think about your New Year's resolution or your intention or your desire or your dream, I want you to get out your journal. And I want you to write that desire down in any way, in any words that you want to use. And then I want you to stand back and look at those words that you've written, and I want you to feel how you feel when you read it. So you have to get in kind of this quiet space, and I want you to read it out loud while you feel your body. So if you say, my intention is, and you write at the top of the thing, I want to be thin and fit. And now you feel into how your body feels. You might feel that's never going to happen. You might feel, which we call resistance to what you're saying. Or you might feel meh. It's just kind of neutral. Like, okay, yeah, I want to lose weight. I want to be thin and fit. Okay. Now what you're going to do based on the results you got when you felt into it is you're going to reconstruct it. You're going to play with it a little bit. And just allow yourself to just play with it. There is no right or wrong desire or intention or way to write it. It is all about how you feel when you say it. It doesn't matter how many words you put in there. It doesn't matter if there's a period after that end of that sentence, or if you use the word fun too many times. It doesn't matter, because what you're trying to do now is you're trying to create a positive emotional response in your body based on what you're reading. So you say, I want to be thin and fit, and your emotional response is, meh. Okay, now reconstruct it. Play with those words a little bit. I intend, I declare, I will, I'm allowing. Play with any of those words to just get it to feel good. And once you can get it to feel good, that's when magic starts happening. Now you can start using those words, and you can start playing with those words to get it to where you're now flowing energy towards the belief. Towards the desire. So now you say, I release the cravings. Oh, that feels really powerful. where before my sentence is, I intend to lose 20 pounds. So when I say things like, I intend to lose 20 pounds, the emotional response in my body was like 0, maybe 1. And then when it was, I intend to release the cravings that are contributing to my weight gain, yeah, like that feels powerful to me. No kidding. The next day, I fed that intention with some good positive flow, with some good energy, and it shifted for, I don't know, it's 10 days. I have to look in my journal to see what the date was that I wrote it down, that I constructed that. But the next day, wow, that's what I'm talking about. Powerful results in a short amount of time to overcome those beliefs, those limiting beliefs that we hold, that everybody holds about everything. Now, you might have to reconstruct it. You can't go from making, I shouldn't say can't, but in your mind, you probably can't go from making $20,000 a year to $1 billion a month. It's just too big of a gap. So you just have to work with where you are with what you have. And if you're making $1,500 a month and you want to make $1 billion a month, it's just too big, right? It's too big of a stretch. You're going to have to really play with the sentence to get it to start to grow and be believable. Because the elephant is going to go, yeah, right. Good luck. You're never going to do that. Good luck, right? It limits, big limits. But what if I were to say, I intend for money to be free flowing into my life, and opportunities are right at my fingertips on a daily basis. That's got some excitement to it, doesn't it? And what happens is you might go from 1,500 to 2,500. Well, that could really start shifting your life, couldn't it? And you just keep feeding, because you're not at your goal. You want to make $5, $10, $20, $80,000 a month. You have to keep feeding the intention. So once you keep feeding the intention, the dream becomes a reality and you start getting closer and closer and closer. So what will you do right now? In the last episode, we talked about your words. In this episode, we're talking about beliefs. So I know that if you were to construct an intention or a desire right now, you would have those beliefs. So now I want you to get out that piece of paper, write down that desire, and start to feel how you feel when you say it. And get to the point that when you say the intention, that you feel excited and flow energy towards your intention. Say it. Say it out loud, write it out, declare it. And if you want to start shifting the words, it's okay. Your intentions are not written in stone. So you can start to shift the energy, and you, my friend, will start to manifest at God-like speeds, living a limitless life. If you liked this episode and look forward to future episodes, please consider making a small monthly donation to help support this podcast. If you are looking for a community to join and have more access to me, then consider one of the following platforms. Chakras for Beginners is an energy-based community that is highly active and growing every day. Lady Rising is a sistership community where the focus is on spiritual support and connection. We hold monthly calls and talk about topics such as today's episode. We also have an online store where you can meet your meditation and chakra needs with products for your journey. You can visit us at www.themeditationroomtc.com. Thank you for joining me and being a valued listener.